welcome to the Everyday Mom Challenge. This is episode 125, setting up homeschool emails. Okay, I'm going to start with our Bible verse for today. It's going to be Proverbs 16:3. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. That is our homeschool motto for the 2015-2016 school year. And a part of this committing ourselves and having our plans established, I believe, comes at the beginning in the preparation. So I've been showing Samuel YouTube videos, I've been talking with him, letting him buy things and plan curriculum along the way. And today was our first mini lesson side by side, so he could get the feel of sitting beside Mama and going from the beginning, middle, and end of a lesson in its completion. So I wanted to talk to you about how that went. First, your children need to have email addresses that is going to be easy for them to remember, passwords that are very easy for them. You need to chart it for them in the beginning of the beginning pages of their notebook, so they can always have it at the front when they flip in. I think that it's very important that we keep this email going with our students, and I say students, I did it for our children, and to share our emails with our family members, so that way they could send e-cards and encouraging images. I just think that that is something positive that our kids could look forward to opening each week. So I set up Gmail accounts, and Solomon went ahead a couple of weeks ago. He set up his own Yahoo account for homeschooling, and I've already started sending him some links. The more that I started thinking about it, I was like, we need a Gmail, because if they both have Gmail accounts, we can use the services through Google Docs. If we could go ahead and do that drive, that way he could keep updating and we could share it. I think that share the information through Google Drive, I think that would just be a better place for us to keep our schoolwork. And they also can access the Google Calendar, which I find very easy to use. And I can add and share onto their calendars. I don't know everything about the Google system yet. Solomon, when he was in a computer class, he learned about Google Drive, and he was the one that taught me how to do it. But it seems like there's great tutorials on there. There's Google Translator, which we're going to be using for Spanish class. So we've been playing around with the different side apps on Google. I used their names, and I gave it very simple numbering beside their names for their Gmail accounts. And here's what I did. When I set it up, I set the basic one up. I didn't choose any of the themes or anything. I just made sure that all of the information was correct in there, and that it would link to my personal homeschool email, which is my YouTube channel email, rejoiceandbegladmom@gmail.com. And what I did is I sat Sam beside me, and I said, these are the purposes for emails. We contact people that we love. We send out information. We ask questions through emails. So I pulled up a compose. I showed him how to do the compose, and I typed Eli's name in, and I said, please save Samuel's homeschool email address in your files. And what I'm planning on doing is sending that email address to multiple people that are in my close circle, so they can send, like I said, Sam and Solomon those encouraging letters, notes, and pictures. Even if they just send them a quick picture image, little jokes. I just think that would be really great throughout the week. I'm going to be doing the same thing, of course, but I think the outside support of our family and friends is just going to be just a light in our day. So I'm setting that up behind the scenes. But so I did compose, I did the subject line, and I typed in, please save Samuel's homeschool email for your records. And I hit send. And I said, okay, Sam, it's your turn. You got to send Daddy an email. So he hit compose right away. He went and he was like, okay, And he was like, how do you spell Daddy's name? I'm like, okay. So then he's, oh, I got the last name. He did the rest of it by himself. When he got to the subject line, he just wrote Sam in there. And I said, you can say anything you like to Daddy. What would you like to send Daddy in your first email? And he was like, well, my gold is running out on my Xbox. And I want Daddy to know. And it's running out on August the 8th. And I said, well, it's up to you. You have to type it. So I didn't do any corrections at first. I let him go, Dear Dad, and I showed him where the commas were. Now I had to show him some of the basics because he has not had any keyboarding experience with school. So what he's had is just his limited experience trying to type in on YouTube and things like that. So I was like, hit enter to go to the next line. Well, he typed, and he was like, I know how to spell August, and he was so excited. And when I was having to help sound out words, I do the fingers like gold, and it's gold, and he got it. At first he put G-L-O-D, and then he looked at it, and he said, no, that's not right. He backspaced, he spelled gold. So proud of him. He was going through, typing everything. Before we could hit send, I said, okay, now let's discuss where the capital letters go. So I taught him how to go back with the cursor and do the backspace and correct using caps, doing the shift. He was all into that. I showed him one time. He was then, that modeling. I showed him, then he was on it. He was doing the other sentences. He found the emotion pictures at the very bottom, the emojis. He started having a ball with those emojis, and I said, now, you can pick a funny one, but you do need to pick one that goes to the theme. And he picked where the sand time was running out. It was so cute. He put it up in the thing. So it was very intentional what he was doing, and he was having a ball. He was laughing and squirming around. It was so cute. When he finished with that, I said, now you have to hit send. Now you have to find the send button. He went to save to start with, and I said, now don't hit save, find send. And he found it, and I showed him how it said, it had successfully been sent. I messaged his dad right away and said, check your email real fast to make sure that it went, that Sam did everything right. Then he had already hit compose again and was playing around with those little picture icons and checking everything out. So I let him do that for a few minutes. When he kind of got tired of that, I said, okay, now let's pick our theme for our Gmail, for our Google account. And he was going through the themes, and he found ninjas, which my baby Shadow Ninja, that's his YouTube name. I just loved it. He was so excited. He clicked on that ninja, and it just made it just pop for him. It was just designed perfectly for Sam. And he was like, Brubby, look. And he was showing Solomon. And I was like, okay, Solomon, I didn't actually know that we could do this. And now I went back and I picked trees online, of course. And Solomon said he was going to go and do more tailoring on his later, because I did go ahead and build Solomon a new one today.
You know our cousin Penny Taylor?
Yes.
What's his name?
Danny.
Danny.
Yes, that's your cousin that he just met, and now they're friends on the Xbox. So I just felt like the first lesson was so successful, just to see, his enthusiasm and his, time for the spelling. Come here, baby.
Daniel.
Let's talk about our first lesson.
No, Daniel. Daniel.
Go back in there. I'm not going to say last names on YouTube. I'm so sorry. Come here. Hey, tell them about your lesson today. Okay. We don't do that now. Sorry. So, let's see where I was at. Okay, so I was going to have him give you a review. But after the lesson was over, I looked at him kind of sideways, and I said, guess what you just did? And he said, what? I said, you just had your first homeschool lesson. He was like, oh, cool. That was cool, Mama. And I was like, that's homeschooling, darling. And he jumped up and he ran off, and he's going to go watch Venturian on YouTube. And that's the beginning. That's the planning. That's to get him motivated and excited, but to teach him this was an actual lesson that was, it was very beneficial for him. I just felt very pleased about the whole thing. So I really challenge you today to think about ways that you can plan with your child, and not just do everything behind the scenes, but include them with you side by side. There was just a lot of learning moments that were taking place while we were together, just building a basic email. So if you have any other tips, that I can do. I have a couple of weeks left before the first day of school, so I would truly appreciate any tips that you might have to share. And if you put on the bottom and comment, then other parents will be able to see them as well. So I hope that you would also consider having a homeschool Bible verse that would be kind of your motto for the whole year. It may be for your whole school experience, but I know how our family dynamics change and our lives change, and I know how God can speak to us through His Word in many different seasons. So I will say that this is our beginning. This is our motto for our year for 2015. And it's always up for the Spirit to lead us and change us and guide us in the right direction again. But I'm just, you can tell I'm a little excited about it, huh? It's just such a good thing for our family. And I applaud all of us that are taking these steps to educate, love, and take care of our children in the way that we feel is best. So I hope that you have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.